Cutting water weight. How to lose 15 pounds in 5 days. Cutting water weight wasn't ever something that I found myself needing to do. Over the years, I've picked up an idea of what cutting water weight entails from watching the UFC. However, I didn't realize just how interesting it actually was. Although water weight cuts can be depleting, they definitely don't have to be. In my experience, if you do it right, you can minimize the impacts they'll have on your performance. In October of 2021, I competed in my second BJJ tournament. I ended up registering for the 136-pound weight division. The original plan was to lose weight slowly over the course of 5 weeks in the lead up. Unfortunately, the weight wasn't coming off the way that I expected. I found myself 6 days out with 11 pounds to lose. Luckily, weigh-ins were scheduled for the day before the competition, which meant that I had some time to rehydrate if my weight cut was too extreme. Through that experience, I learned a lot about the nuances and principles of cutting water weight. I'll outline the main 3 principles below. Water loading. One of the most difficult parts of the process is just how much water you have to drink. From the various sources of weight cutting information I've explored, the number that I settled on was 1 liter for every 25 pounds of body weight, while always rounding up. For someone like me who was 147 pounds at the time, I needed 147 pounds divided by 25, which was 5.88 liters, which is rounded up to 6. My starting point for water was 6 liters, which would have been tapered down over the following 5 days, as I'll explain below. Carb and sodium depletion. The enemies of water cuts are carbohydrates, sodium, and fiber. These nutrients actually cause the body to retain water. Water retention will mean that it's harder for the body to release water weight. I found that sodium and carbs were mandatory to eliminate. They had the biggest impact on the scale. However, when I found that I wasn't on pace, fiber would come out next. Although eliminating fiber did make a difference, it made less of a difference than carbs and sodium. Even when it comes to carbs, sodium and fiber, there is an element of tapering down, which I'll also explain in the next section. Perfect timing. Timing is the key to this whole thing. I'll outline the series of events in the week leading up to the weigh-in below. Sunday. Water is at 6 liters. We maintain carbs and maintain sodium, and we maintain our regular training schedule. Monday, another 6 liters. This time we cut carbs, but we maintain our sodium. Regular training again. Tuesday, we cut our water down to 4 liters, except this time we cut carbs and we cut sodium, and we now move to treadmill workouts and hot baths. Wednesday, we again cut our water to 2 liters, continue to cut carbs, continue to cut sodium, and then use the treadmill and hot bath to lose that extra weight. Thursday, we again cut down to 1 liter, we continue to cut carbs, continue to cut sodium, use the hot bath, the sauna, and a sweatsuit. Friday, the day of the weigh-in, we sip water until the weigh-in, but we make sure not to exceed 500 milliliters of water. We wait until after the weigh-ins to rehydrate and recover nutrients. And we do anything to get on weight 2 hours before weigh-ins. If you haven't done something like this before, having to drink 6 liters of water can not only be overwhelming, but can also seem counterproductive. However, you have to trust the process. Drinking this amount of water causes the body to overcompensate in how much it releases. As a result, you'll lose more water than you take in. If you stay disciplined about sweating, cutting carbs, cutting water, and cutting sodium, and cutting fiber. The exercise/sweating portion of the process is straightforward. Maintain high-intensity activities until midweek when water, carbs, and sodium begin getting cut. At that point, energy levels will be low, so lower impact activities will be preferred. These include light workouts in a sauna suit, light workouts on the treadmill, a sauna session, hot bath, etc. In addition to the above timing, I also used a natural laxative tea called Senna tea. I used it twice within the week to lose the weight that had been accumulated in my intestines. This tea gave me stomach cramps and made me nauseous, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you were still early in the weight cut. Conclusion. By the end of my experience, I couldn't wait to start drinking a Pedialyte. My body was definitely screaming for electrolytes and water, but I felt great. I felt even greater on the day of the event. I was light, my digestive system was clear, and I was ready to go. I'd imagine that a cut any more than 15% of total body weight would have been a nightmare. However, the 10-ish% weight cut seems to be very doable without affecting performance. Overall, my biggest takeaway was to trust the process. Although 11 pounds felt almost too large of a number, sticking to the process proved that it really wasn't. Although I obviously would have been harder, I could have overshot 11 pounds if I needed to. The other biggest takeaway was the need to ensure that I reached my final weight only 2 hours before weigh-ins. The last thing you want is to be on weight for an entire day. That can be even more damaging to your metabolism. So the 3 big takeaways of this article should be that if you're planning on cutting water weight for an event, you need to remember: 1. Drink 1 liter of water for every 25 pounds of body weight and taper down to approximately half a liter as you near the weigh-in. 2. Cut carbs and sodium 3 to 4 days before the weigh-in. Cut fiber if you need an added loss. 3. Make sure to time the water loss to get to your goal just 2 hours before weigh-ins. If you enjoyed this article, you can find more like it at www.banafit.com. That's www.banafit.com. Thanks for listening.